Learn faster and remember more. Improve your performance at school and in life, right? We learn a ton about what to learn: biology, math, social studies, English, language arts. But what if we learn to learn faster? It'd make acquiring whatever information we're looking for, right? Whether you're a mechanic, you play an instrument, you're in a choir, you act, sports plays, rules, whatever it is, you name it. You learn faster, you're going to be more likely to be successful. Who am I? I'm Dr. Mike McPherson, also known as Coach Mac. My passion is human health and performance, mental and physical health. Love to learn about it, love to study it, love to expand my understanding upon it. My purpose is to help and teach others. I've spent the last 10 years as a teacher and a coach, and it has definitely, that's my calling. That's what I'm meant to do. That's who I am. I just want to help y'all. That's my thing. I just want to help others. Here's my wonderful family. This is my reason why. This is what keeps me motivated. I want to set a good example. I want to do right by them. It's my beautiful wife, Ashley, my handsome son, Michael James, MJ, and my beautiful daughter, Addison Marie. I've taught my career biology, chemistry, biochemistry, physics, advanced physics, anatomy and physiology, and technology and healthcare. Spent the majority of my time teaching in high school. I have taught some college courses. I was a head strength coach, head football coach, head track coach. Spent the majority of my coaching career at the high school level. I did spend some time early on. I was an assistant strength coach at the college level, Division I and Division II. Spent 10 years as a personal trainer, group fitness instructor, and just worked with people trying to make them healthy through movement. And then I've kind of expanded my passion because I realized right, two sides, right? Just like the iPhone's got two sides, or really four sides, but you know what I mean, the front and the back. They're two sides of the same coin, your mental and physical health. As one improves, so should the other. And you'll see it if you do it. So first off, I believe this, right? We're talking about learning faster, remembering more. You got to set yourself up for success. So you got to be an active learner, one. And you got to have the right mindset, two. If you're in the wrong mindset, you're distracted, you're thinking about other things. No wonder you're not learning anything. You basically set up walls in your head, right? And all this new information is just bouncing off. It's not getting in there. So first things first. Real quick, how does this work? I create guided notes so you can become an active learner. We do not want to, you can't passively do anything. Passively doing stuff is not going to get you better. You got to be an active learner. You got to think, how does this stuff help me? What can I do with it? How can I use it? Why am I learning it, right? What's your why? Like I told you, my family's my why. What's your why? Why are you here? Why do you think you should be able to learn faster and remember more? How would it help you? So having those things in your mind, especially when, you're not in the mood to learn, so to speak, so you can get yourself in the mood to learn. But you are capable of the greatness. I mean that. I'm dead serious when I say that. And what I want you to notice here, that greatness is in red. So you can copy that down. That's an identifier for our guided notes. Learn faster, remember more, guided notes. Our third slide is mindset. Notice here our third slide. Here's slide 3. There's mindset up there. Right, so mindset, you are capable, and that's where you're writing greatness, because you are. You are capable of greatness, right? You can learn if you believe you can, right? So we put believe there, and it's important. It's vital. You have to believe in yourself. I believe in you, so you know that. And if you are not courageous, if you do not have the courage to say it out loud, I believe in me, know that I believe in you. You're here, you're watching this video, keep trying, keep working, do your best, reach out to me, shoot me an email if you need some help, right? Let me be a person in your corner, okay? Be consistent, be persistent, have that mindset. I want to be great. I want to work towards my goal every single day. We're going to talk about setting goals, right? You got to set some goals, write those bad boys down. Work towards your goal every day and be consistent. One thing to make you better every single day. What are you going to do? What is the one thing you're going to do today that makes you better for tomorrow? Right? So do something your future self will thank you for. So we have 3 questions. Why would learning faster help you? Right? So wondering why, right? So this is kind of building that why. Why would improving your memory help you? Why? How can you use this stuff? So it's going to keep you focused. Remember these answers, right? What are you doing this for? Or who are you doing this for? Why? Okay. You notice down here we provided some answers and some areas to write this stuff down. Print it off, write it down. Believe it or not, you acquire more knowledge. There's multiple studies. Question what I say, go out, do your own. Again, question what I say, go out, do your own research. Check the studies out. You learn more when you write things down versus when you type. You acquire more information. I believe it has to do with the kinesthetic activity, right? Meaning there's movement, there's actual, you're applying pressure to the paper, you're imagining what you're writing in your head, and then your body is doing it. You're making that connection. Then more often than not, you're reading it again, and you might be saying it out loud or saying it in your head, right? Write these things down. If your handwriting isn't good, practice. Get it better. You should be able to handwrite. What are you going to show your kids, right? Make sure your stuff is legible and do your very best and try. If you need help, reach out. That's serious. Whatever you got, let me help you. Course goals. Describe the importance of goal setting. Identify and explain how to learn faster. Create an attitude of gratitude. What are your goals? What are your goals for taking this course? Why are you here? Why? Okay, so you want to learn faster. You want to remember more. Why? What's it going to do for you? What's your goal for life? It might not be room on the paper. Flip it over, write it somewhere else. What's your life goal? What's your 5-year goal, your 10-year goal? You don't have these yet, that's fine, but start thinking about these things, right? A ship without a rudder, right? The little thing that steers it, you got a ship without a rudder in the water. It's just going to float. It's going to get kicked around by every wind, by the seas, no matter what. It's not going to be able to propel itself or to aim at a point, at a port, right? Your goal is your rudder. Your goal is what gives you an aiming point. It's like selecting a destination on a map. You don't just get in your car and drive aimlessly. You select a destination, you go. You got to do the same thing with your goals. My why, again, my family. I want to help millions of people. And I will say it. I will help millions of people. I am helping millions of people. I am setting a good example, speaking positively to myself there, right? You do the same thing. What's your why? Why are you learning to learn faster? What's your why? Write it down. The stronger your why, the stronger your discipline will be, to be quite honest with you, what motivates you to do better. So your motivation, to me personally, it's like the weather. It changes every single day, like high tide and low tide out in the sea, right? Sometimes your motivation's high and things are real easy, and sometimes it dips down low and things become more difficult, and you got to really hold yourself to it in order to complete the task at hand. That's where your why comes in. Right? If I start getting lazy, I'm in one of those low tide points, my motivation is low, that's where you got to turn up the discipline. I just don't feel like it. I'm tired. I only slept 4 hours last night. Kids were up throughout the night. I was running around, yada, 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 right? Playing my sad song as my violin, right? I try and do my best. Try not to complain to myself, right? I don't want to complain to anybody, especially myself, because that just sets up my mindset for negativity, not being a good dad, not being a good husband, not being a good me, not being a good man to my fellow people, human beings, right? I just want to be a good person. So instead of complaining, I think about my why. Okay, understood. You didn't get enough sleep, but why are you up? Why do you need to do this? For them, to set a great example, to provide, to make this earth a better place. I want to leave this earth better than I found it, right? And I want to make sure I'm setting a great example for my kids. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Right? Very important. Attitude of gratitude. Very important. Learning is state dependent. So the stronger emotions you have while you're learning, it's going to create stronger memories. Think of your memories in childhood. Some of the joyous ones are the strongest memories, and some of the most traumatic ones are the strongest memories, right? At least for me. I can tell you my first memory at 2 years old, very traumatic. Again, not very traumatic, right? But at the time, when I was a young person, first thing I ever saw like that was my mom and dad were getting divorced. My dad was moving out, packing a big old box. I remember it like it was yesterday, hiding under the kitchen table during this fight, right? Strong emotions create strong memories, okay? You have to tie what you're trying to remember, what you're trying to learn, tied to some strong emotions, right? That's where your why comes in. Why am I doing this? I'm doing it for my family. Work on those things. Reflect on your experience. What did you learn? What mistakes did you make? Okay. Expressing gratitude improves cognitive function and memory. Right? Believe it or not, expressing gratitude improves your cognitive function and memory. You got to identify how you learn best, right? So after we kind of set up that attitude of gratitude, um, it's just going to improve your overall mental health. You're going to make positive impacts on other people's lives, right? It's very easy. Just attitude of gratitude. Find a reason to thank someone. And you know what? Once you start finding reasons to thank people and compliment them, you'll come back and be like, man, that guy, Coach Mac, he knew what he was talking about, right? Um, Identify. Here, I want you to take some time, identify your learning style, right? So read through these. How do you learn? What's your best method for learning? Are you in school? When you were in school, what did you do to learn? If you don't know, try some of these things out, right? For me, drawing pictures. Drawing pictures are huge for my understanding and for teaching me, for helping me learn and retaining information, right? Once I start creating, so to speak, right? I like to draw. I kind of renewed my love for drawing. I lost it for a while. Don't ever lose those things. Keep creating, because creating is what helps create strong memories, right? I'm a big believer. I like to draw pictures, obviously create videos, but creating things allows us to improve our understanding. So please circle how you learn best. And if you don't know, look these things up, different learning styles. Do a little investigation, right? Question what I say. Learn fast. And this is from Jim Quick, okay? He's a learning coach. Read his book, listened to his podcast. He's been very influential in, helping me identify methods I can do to learn faster, things I can practice. Right, not everything works for everybody, but if you can find one thing to take away, something positive, and you can implement in your daily life, that's huge for you. Right, so Jim Quick, forget, active, state, teach. So these are his 4 methods for learning. Learn fast. You want to forget. Imagine, right, you're sitting down for class, you're learning something new, right? I'm going in with an open mind. I'm going in with an open mind. I'm going to take in the information and I'm going to make a decision. Make an informed decision at that point, right? Take it all in, make an informed decision. Forget you learn anything. The reason being, if you go into a course, a class, or believe in you already know everything, you're going to be less likely to retain that information because you already set up that barrier, that limitation. I already know everything. Okay, so going with an open mind. Be an active learner. We said that. Be engaged and creative. Create your own notes. Don't let things go down. Don't walk into a class. Don't go into a learning opportunity, whatever it is. Maybe you're at job shadowing someone. Take a notepad with you. Write things down. Write down notes. One note's better than no note, as long as it's it's something informative. Right? Draw pictures. Be an active learner. Engage yourself and create. Find reasons to get engaged. Change your position. You find yourself falling asleep. Stand up. Sit down. Move around a little bit. Take a break. These things, they're not going to help you in being an active learner. So put it aside. Put it on silent. Get it out of there. Being an attitude of gratitude, right? So again, we said being thankful, being an attitude of gratitude, showing appreciation. Maybe just releases limitations, puts you in a better mindset, makes learning more cohesive, more coherent. Just show appreciation. And then when you learn something, share it with someone, talk about it. It might even clear, it's going to help you retain that information, make it a long-term memory because you're going to have the interaction, you're going to have the talk, the conversation. It might even clear up some misconceptions with you, or maybe even identify once you say it out loud and explain to someone. Maybe you had a misunderstanding. You're like, oh, okay, now you get it to yourself. Oh, okay, this is what I thought originally, but I realized I made a mistake there. Quick notes. I'm a big believer in these. Create and capture notes. So this is, again, we want to create. So capture notes on this side, and there will be, right, there'll be a create and capture handout. On the capture side, that's where you want to take, I don't necessarily word for word. I try to do that. That's typically a bad habit when you're note taking. If you're trying to write word for word, it's taking too long. You're going to miss information. Paraphrase, summarize, and you want to get the facts, but you want it in the most concise manner possible. That's where you want to put your capture. You want to capture those notes like a picture. That's where that goes. Your create side, that's when your mind jumps off. Instead of doodling and imagining and checking your cell phone, like imagining things unrelated to what you're learning, create some notes. Apply that mind to that imagination. When your mind goes to jump off, have it jump onto something related to the content you're learning. And create something. Pictures, doodles, right? Doodle. You're learning about World War II. Doodle the battle, label it. Who is on whose side? Things along those. You're learning about the cells. Start to draw some of these things, interacting, your own interpretation, whatever's going to help you remember and make those connections, right? You've got to figure out what learning style and what works for you when it comes to learning, and that's when you're going to excel. Create, review, recall. Okay? Create, review, recall. Create your own notes. Create your own pictures. Create your own videos. Review your notes. Recall and use what you've learned, right? Review it often, and it's gonna solidify. I listen to a lot of Bob Proctor lectures, or just recently, the past couple of days. He's had the book Think and Grow Rich. He's been studying it for 55 years, right? Talk about reviewing. Well, he's been on the same page for 2 months, right? He doesn't move on until he knows it, till he feels it. Interesting, very interesting, right? Review that information, and you'll be more likely to recall it and implement it, right? You'll be more likely to recall it and implement it. Again, a big believer, create your own notes. Create that stuff. Make learning your own. Whatever it is, make it your own. How do you learn best? And then just go for it. And then you're going to figure out, right, maybe this works for me. Maybe I can tweak it and make it better. So these are memory methods. Different memorization methods. Some work for me, some don't. Some might work for you, some might not. I think it's nice to be exposed to these things and know that they exist out there. So you got the loci method, really location method, the touch, creating a story, and smell. Test yourself. Test these memorization methods and find what method works best for you. You can do that. Practice memorizing lists with some of these things. So location method. Imagine a familiar location like your living room, right? It's got to be a location you know like the back of your hand, right? Like I can walk in, I can close my eyes, I can imagine my living room. I'm standing in the doorway, right? I know there's a doorway into our kitchen. I know there's a fireplace. There's a TV. There's a bookshelf full of books. There's a cabinet underneath that. There's a couch. There's a picture window out to our front yard. And so I know that like the back of my hand. I can see it when I close my eyes. And then what you can do with this location method is put pieces of information within each detail, whether it's a couch, a TV, a book in a bookshelf, maybe a specific book, maybe a lamp, a picture in the fireplace, right? Go around the room, like from right to left, and drop little pieces of information in those things. Then when you picture it, you're more likely, right? Because we picture things. That's what helps us remember. You're going to be more likely to keep that stuff organized, and it's going to pop up one after another. Okay, put this stuff in different places, right? Right? I don't know. Find what works for you. All right, find what works for you. The touch method. While you're studying, pinch a knuckle. Interestingly enough, hold that. I would say maybe it's like a concept or a topic, right? Hold that part of your hand. Hold that part of your hand. Every time you review it, hold that part of your hand. Then when you get to that test portion, maybe it's something detailed, something you got to know that's pretty lengthy. You hold that part of your hand, okay, I'm going to pull this concept up. I'm going to see how it applies to this problem. You hold that same area that pertains to that same problem that you studied about. And you're more likely to recall that information, right? Strong emotion, strong sense, strong feeling. Tie that to what you're learning. The story method. Right, for memorizing a list or whatever you're working on, create a story. Create your own story in your head, and have fun with it. Jim Quick does a great job with this, memorizing lists, words. He creates a story. Write it down, reread it, just off the top of your head. The more extravagant the story, the more likely you're going to remember that information. Right, so try creating a story with whatever you need to learn. It can be outrageous as it needs to be, but include those key vocabulary words, those key terms. Smell. Next time you're sitting down to study, spray a perfume. Or even, right, we go back to the touch, you could be chewing gum, which could also be smell, right? They kind of cross the lines. You get the smell during gum and the activity. But right, the whole idea is we're trying to re-engage, so we're engaging different senses, different emotions, different feelings while we're studying, and then when we come back to recall that information, we want to re-engage those areas again, right? Performing the same type of activities, the smells, the feelings, or similar or familiar location, okay? So that's the whole idea here, is we're trying to tie what we're learning different, different feelings, different events. I'm a big believer in this one, study guides, right? So you want to learn faster, remember more, right? So you just can't beat, I'm not off the chart. You just got to work hard. Okay, and at the end of the day, create a handwritten study guide, right? Well, I'm going to create a Quizlet. That's fine. I'm going to do it online. That's fine. But understand that when you create a study guide and it's handwritten, that information is more likely to be retained as memory. Understand that information, right? You're writing it. That's a physical activity. It's kinesthetic. You're more likely to remember it, right? Especially if you are, I'm a hands-on learner. Write it out. Tell me this ain't hands-on. Write it out, right? It isn't hands-on. I shouldn't say ain't, but you know what I mean. This is hands-on. Write it out. You're gonna write it. You're gonna see it. You're gonna read it, and you'll hear it in your head. Right? So when I was in undergrad in my master's program, get a study guide. I answered in complete sentences because I don't want to look at the questions. I just want to read my study guide. So I answer in complete sentences. This is right. So what is a cell membrane? A cell membrane is yada yada yada. And then I would quiz myself. Okay, and the way I would do that, so I'd answer every question as thoroughly to the best of my abilities. Then I would put my hand over the answer and I'd read the question. And then I'd answer it out loud. Oh, this is, a cell membrane is, it's a phospholipid bilayer, yada, yada, yada. I lift my hand up. Did I get the answer right? If I got it right, I'd move on. If I got it wrong, I'd put a star next to it. And that meant I was going to come back and review, right? Go to where was I weakness, turn that weakness into a strength. Okay, so I look back at all the starred questions, so I go through the whole study guide. Then when I went through it a second time, I just go to the star questions, right? The ones I got wrong. Then I come back and do it again, test myself again, test, retest. Get uncomfortable, right? Are there things that are more fun out there to do? Absolutely, 1,000%. Right? This is going to create some fundamental knowledge, and you will perform better. And it's also going to improve discipline, right? Just tell yourself, I got to sit down and do this. Do a little at a time. Take breaks often. Do it. Find a way to make it work for you. Find a way to make it work for you. Again, test, retest is what I was getting into. Answer study guide questions aloud. Any question answered incorrectly gets a star. Study starred questions and then retest again. Create flashcards, right? So again, you're creating, you're drawing, you're writing. This would be right like Quizlet, except the old-fashioned way, doing it in real life. Include a question or vocabulary word, maybe a picture, draw a picture, flip it back and forth, right? Whatever works for you, find what method works for you. I'm just laying out all this information for you, and I'm hoping you can come up with one that's a strong suit for you. Again, virtual flashcards. A ton of my students loved Quizlet, and I got nothing against it. I'm fully supportive of Quizlet. I believe, right, that writing things down, for me personally, helps me remember information more effectively. But maybe that's not the case for you, right? Create a Quizlet. Right? 90% of students who use Quizlet report receiving higher grades. That was a study done by Quizlet, so take that for whatever it's worth, right? A little bit of a bias, but might be, might not. Try it out. Here's something that I think would just be create content. Create content. Put it out there. It's scary, right? Because how are people going to react? What are people going to think about it? What are they going to say? Who cares? Do you. Do what's best for you. Be happy. Be yourself. Reach out to me if you need help. You need to support. You need someone to, or right, you're unsure. Ask me. I will be straight up with you. I will be as honest as I can be. I will be as honest as there is. I try. Right, I pride myself on being an honest person. So reach out. You need help. You got questions. Be you. Love who you are. Be who you are. Create a video for learning. Create a picture series, right? Swipe right, explaining something. Maybe a podcast, a song, whatever it is. I think, right? So now you're creating, but you're also creating digital content, which, you just start creating stuff for fun. Maybe this leads you somewhere on one of these apps, right? Some people, you hit a whole bunch of people that learn the same way you do, and you really benefit them and help them grow. And, you all grow from that. Create content. Get it out there. Create a slideshow. Video, film yourself talking about the slideshow. Help others learn. When you read it and you hear it and you see it, it makes a difference. Repetition, right? Repetition, repetition, repetition. Um, it's not the most effective way of learning, but it is definitely an effective way. It is effective in learning, right? Repetition. Again, present it, create it. You're creating something, present it. You're reading it, seeing it, hearing it again. You're talking to yourself, and you're going to figure out what's good, what's not, where you can improve. You can reflect on it. That's going to facilitate some real learning. Imagine your goals. Again, what are they? What is your goal? Where do you want to be a year from now, 5 years from now? How will you feel once you've achieved your goals? Feeling, imagine you've already achieved that goal. What does that feel like? What does it feel like once you've already achieved your goal? What would you do? What would be the first thing you do once you achieved your goal? And what will you do after you achieved your goal? What's your next goal? Right? You've imagined, you got your goal written down. You've imagined achieving your goal. You've imagined immediately what you'll do after you achieve your goal, right? Where you'll be, what it will feel like, all those feelings. How does it feel? What will you do after? And what's your next one? Will that progress you on to the next goal? You're going to do something completely different. Hopefully it moves you on to the next one. Focus. Keep your mind on your goals. Keep your goals on your mind. By being goal focused, I found it definitely helps me basically set up a wall, impenetrable wall for anxiety, fear, and depression. Okay. When I do get, like everyone gets feelings of anxiety or you get a little sad, right? It's just our mood changes with the weather. It is what it is, right? You got to try to be happy sometimes. You shouldn't have, it just is what it is, right? But when I find if I'm having some of those negative thoughts pop up in my mind, right? Think back to my goal, right? Focus on your goals. Is this helping you? Is this even positive, right? I believe our mind should be positive. I think it's society that creates this negative atmosphere, that all these things that pop into our head. You are not innately negative. No, you are not, right? You maybe have experienced some trauma. You've experienced some rough things, some hard times that have influenced you. The media, the news, the recent, right, the pandemic, everything we lived through may have created some negative feelings within you, but that's not what we are. We are positive, right? Use your imagination to create the best possible life for yourself and focus on that. Focus on your goals. What would it feel like achieving your goals and living your best life, right? A ton of professional athletes now openly talk about using visualization, seeing themselves holding the trophy. What will they do after they've won that Super Bowl, that world championship, that national championship? That does a lot of things for encouraging our subconscious mind and keeping us focused and getting us towards that goal. Feel the emotions of achieving your goal. Again, strong emotions influence learning. They influence your memory, but strong emotions are also going to pull us towards that goal. It's going to help that motivation, that discipline. That's also why we have that why. It creates a strong emotion within you. Affirmations. I accomplish everything I set out to do. Say it. Believe it. Say it till you believe it. Say it every single day. There are affirmations I say every single day, a whole bunch of them. It puts me in a positive mindset. I think it improves my health. It helps me as a person, helps me be a better husband, better father, better man, better brother, better son, all of those things, right? You gotta talk positively to yourself. The whole don't talk to yourself, don't talk negatively to yourself is what people should have said. Not don't talk to yourself, don't talk negatively to yourself. Or talk positively to yourself. You can frame that into a positive. Talk positive about yourself. Believe in yourself. I believe in me. I can do this. I'm capable. Right? Muhammad Ali said it over and over and over again. I am the greatest. Right? You hear interviews. It wasn't just him bragging. Or he states it wasn't him bragging. They were affirmations. He convinced himself he was the greatest. Okay? Talk positive to yourself. Treat yourself like you're your own best friend. Okay? Be real. You can be hard and be critical of yourself to an extent. What I mean by that is you should hold yourself to a standard. You should not negotiate with yourself. Hold yourself to a standard, a high standard. And when you fail, acknowledge you failed and move on. Do not destroy your self-esteem. Do not beat yourself into the ground. That's unacceptable. That's not right to do. It's not going to help you. Okay? When you make a mistake, acknowledge the mistake, reflect on it. What can I do better? What did I learn from this experience? And then go out and try to do it again and do it the right way. Talk positively to yourself, right? I don't know. I'd also go as far as to talk to yourself like you're talking to the childhood version of you. How would you talk to the childhood version of you to make them happy, make them feel good? How would you do it? That's how you should talk to yourself. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your effort, for putting the guided notes, for listening to me. Hopefully some of this resonates with you and we're on the same frequency and you can take something away from this that positively impacts your life or those around you. Share it. Reach out to people. Let's try and make this world a better place. Let's leave it better than we found it. Know that I appreciate you. Just some of the references again. References. So here are the references, right? Check out Emilio Coe, The Method. Every day in every way, I'm better and better and better. Definitely worth reading about, learning about. Amazing how that impacts your life. Literally that little information, that affirmation, every day in every way, I'm better and better and better. Just Joe Dispenza, Dr. Joe Dispenza, You Are the Placebo, The Power of Your Mind. Apply that. Jim Quick, Limitless. And that's where those create and capture notes were. Association between gratitude in the brain and cognitive function in older adults. Okay. That's where that comes from, saying thank you. Improved in cognitive function. Again, all the lectures, Napoleon Hill, Earl Nightingale, Bob Proctor, Og Mandino, all of these different, success books, learning books. And that's, a lot of them say the same thing. Keep your mind positive. Keep your mind on your goals. And be consistent in working towards your goals daily. Do the very best you can. If you need help, you need help, you need support, whatever it is, reach out. I got a website, drmcpherson@gmail.com is the email. If I can do anything to help you, I will. Have a blessed day.